Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And welcome to another episode of Parlay with Jay, where I have the opportunity to help you to improve your English listening skills. Now, if you would like some of my longer English lessons, be sure to use the links in the description. Today, I have a fun story that I am going to read. And as always, I will review, discuss, and teach some of the key vocabulary words from today's story. Now, I must say that today's lesson is at an intermediate level reading and listening level. So I want you to be encouraged. If some of the words are unfamiliar to you, I will try to explain them so you can have a clear understanding. I hope you're ready for some learning and laughter. Let's dive into today's story. Barnaby, a boy notorious for his mischief and audacity, was convinced he'd finally outsmarted Mr. Henderson, who was the stern librarian. He'd meticulously planned his escape, a perfectly timed distraction, a hidden ladder, and a swift climb through the library's ancient skylight. Barnaby, whose heart was pounding with elation, had successfully navigated the dusty rafters. He peered down with a mischievous grin spreading across his face. Mr. Henderson, oblivious to his daring escape, was calmly shelving books. Almost there, Barnaby whispered, inching closer to the edge of the roof. He was about to make his grand exit when a piercing shriek pierced the air. Mr. Henderson, a voice cried. There's a bat in the library. Chaos erupted. Librarians screamed, patrons scattered, and books tumbled to the floor. Mr. Henderson, usually so serious, sprinted towards the commotion. His face was a mask of horror. Barnaby, frozen in place, watched in astonishment. He had escaped the clutches of the librarian only to be trapped by a creature far more terrifying, a bat. As the librarian, who was armed with a broom, chased the bat around the library, Barnaby realized his predicament. He was stranded on the roof, a prisoner of his own circumstance and audacity. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, finally, after what felt like an eternity, the bat fluttered out the open window. Mr. Henderson, exhausted but victorious, surveyed the scene. Well, Barnaby, he said, his voice surprisingly calm, I believe it's time for you to come down, and perhaps a little less mischief and audacity in the future. Barnaby, humbled and thoroughly embarrassed, climbed down the ladder, vowing to never underestimate the unpredictable nature of life. He had learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes the most unexpected events can derail even the most meticulous plans. Barnaby was very, very silly. Now, this story reminded me of a television show that I used to watch when I was a child called Dennis the Menace. And Dennis was always known for causing trouble and getting into mischief. And causing heartbreak and damages to people's property. But of course, they made the television show humorous and fun to watch. Like most kids, they are mischievous and have the audacity to do some of the crazy and most foolish things. Okay, with that being said, let's review some of the vocabulary words that I warned you would be at an intermediate level. Mischief can be used as a noun, a playful behavior that a person has that is intended to cause trouble or annoyance. Okay, so someone that is mischievous or causes mischief can be very irritating, or as we say, bothersome. And that was Barnaby. Very mischievous. So you might say in a sentence, the mischievous children laughed as they pulled a prank on their teacher. Okay, another word that was used quite often is audacity. So audacity can be defined as someone having the willingness to take bold risk. We would describe such a person as daring. Okay, so you might say, I can't believe you had the audacity to ride the roller coaster. Or I can't believe you had the audacity to pet the vicious dog. Audacity. So someone who has a lot of nerve. Elation. That was a word used at the beginning of the story. Elation. Great happiness or excitement. So you might say the team's elation was very exciting after their victory of the championship game. Okay, elation. Describing someone's thrill, someone's happiness or excitement. Let's see here as I look at the notes, and let me say, if you would like today's notes, there's a link down in the description that will take you to the PDF notes of today's story, as well as the vocabulary words in my notes. Piercing. So someone can have a loud or high-pitched voice or sound. It's very piercing. Like a siren. A siren has a piercing sound. Okay? Astonishment, to someone's great surprise or amazement. So you might say he stared in astonishment at the beautiful woman. Okay, just astonished, taken aback. And finally, meticulous, showing great attention to detail. I like that word, meticulous. Someone that's highly organized. The scientists meticulously recorded all of her observations in her lab notebook. So I hope you have enjoyed today's story about the mischievous acts of Barnaby. I haven't titled today's story yet, but by the time you get this on YouTube, there'll be a title. Now, as always, if you have enjoyed today's quick lesson, be sure to share it with a friend, as well as be sure to leave me a comment or question that you may have down in the comment section. I want to wish everyone a happy new year, and I hope your new year is starting off, let's say, with great elation, excitement, thrill. As always, I hope you join me on my next English lesson. I'll see you then.